Good afternoon, and I welcome you, students. Is going to be a very, very important topic. Very, very amazing session will be there because this is chapter 4, carbon and its compounds. We are familiar with large number of compounds which are made up of carbon. You know, carbon is an element. Carbon element, we know what is the symbol of carbon? What is the symbol of carbon? C. What is the atomic number of carbon? Atomic number, देखो, atomic number 1 to 20 we should learn very quickly. This is atomic number is 6. So you have seen how we write 6C12. What it means when I write 6C12? What it means? Atomic number is 6, and what is the mass number here? Mass number is 12. But you know, carbon has 3 isotopes. How many isotopes? There are isotopes of carbon. You are aware, students, isotopes of carbon. What are these? 6C12, 6C13, 6C14. Out of that, this is the most stable form of carbon. This maximum percentage, 99.99% is this isotope of carbon. Whenever we talk of carbon, we are talking of C12. C12, we have seen that this was chosen as a standard for the relative atomic mass scale. Yes or no? All this is important. Be with me, be with me. This is the C12, which is the most stable form, and these are present in very small amount in the natural abundance. If we will see the percentages, we will find that this is a radioactive isotope of carbon. Radioactive. What is radioactive? Radioactive isotope. That means it emits certain radiations, and this is used for dating of the objects. You know what is dating of the objects? Dating of old trees and all that. You know how they say this tree is 2000 years old? They will determine the amount of C14 present in the tree. On that basis, we will give a date to the old trees, old bones, or whatever digging they do. After that, the isotope carbon 14 is used for finding the age of any other old objects which contains carbon 14. Therefore, if I say, students, this is my carbon, then what is the electron configuration of carbon? You have studied the electron configuration in 9th class also. We have studied Bohr and Bury rules. Did we study? Electron configuration. How do we write the electron configuration? K shell and L shell. How many electrons will be there in the K shell? Atomic number is 6. How many electrons are there? Atomic number 6. Number of electrons, how many? 6. Then why write 2, 4? In the first shell, there are 2 electrons, and in the second shell of the carbon, there are 4 electrons. The important point to note is that carbon element forms very, very large number of compounds, very, very large number of compounds. So the food which you are eating, the clothes which you are wearing, your paper, your books, lot of medicines. So all these things around you contain carbon. Our body also contains carbon. Yes or no? What are you eating? Food, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, they contain carbon. So carbon is present in large number of things around us. The wooden tables, wooden chairs, whatever you see, cardboards, papers, books, all these contain carbon. Pencils. So carbon is present everywhere. So much of carbon is there. If you see the amount of carbon in the crust and atmosphere is quite small. In the atmosphere, what do you have? Carbon dioxide gas is present in very small amounts. The amount of carbon in crust is also small. amount of carbon in crust of the earth. These are very small, meager. Meager mean very, very small percentage is there. And earth crust has about 0.02% of carbon. The crust of the earth contains 0.02% of the carbon in the form of carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, coal, petroleum, they all contains carbon. So atmosphere has about 0.03%. 0.03% of CO2 is there. This CO2 contains carbon, but the importance of carbon is immense. You know, in photosynthesis, plants use carbon dioxide. Where the carbon dioxide comes from? You are respiration. We are respiring. What is happening? We are inhaling oxygen, and what we are giving, respiration out. Exit gas is carbon dioxide, which is used by the plants for the process of the photosynthesis. The food which you are eating, you are saying, are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, lipids, they all contain carbon. Therefore, we can say carbon is a very versatile element. A highly versatile element. Very, very versatile element. See, it is present everywhere. Present everywhere. Okay. Let us see what more we want to see. What we said just now, student, carbon element C, non-metallic. It is a non-metal. We have discussed metals and non-metals also in the periodic table, group 14. Group 14 periodic table, we have carbon. Although widely distributed, carbon is only particularly plenty. It makes only 0.025% of Earth crust. Yet it forms more compounds than other elements combined. Very important. That percentage is small, but it forms very, very large number of compounds. As we have said, more compounds than others. We will see the reason why carbon is able to form such a large number of compounds. In fact, another branch of chemistry has been opened, which contains carbon as one of its elements. That is called the organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry in which we have element carbon. So carbohydrates, alcohols, phenols, aldehydes, carboxylic acids, so many compounds, millions of compounds of organic chemistry are known. And it is very important to know that carbon is forming very, very large number of compounds. Interesting. Carbon is the sixth most abundant element on Earth, occurs in all living organisms. All the living organisms, you have studied the living organisms. They contain carbon. They contain carbon. Carbon and its compound play vital role in supply the world with energy. When we talk of energy, how do we get energy in our everyday life? Can we work without energy? The answer is no. Energy is required. We have fossil fuels. What are those? You have coal, you have oil, you have petroleum, all these. So they all contain carbon. Industry cannot be run without these. And you know, the trees need carbon dioxide. Your trees need carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. Therefore, it is very clear, without carbon, life on Earth will not be there. If carbon is not there, what life is there? Nothing. So very, very important and vital element, very, very versatile element, which highly versatile element. Note down all the things, students. You do not know what type of questions can be asked. Every information is important. Make your own notes. They will help you. So we can, what we are finding around, carbon is everywhere. We are also having carbon in our body. You are made partially of carbon, clothing, furniture, plastics, your household machines. There is a carbon in the air we breathe, diamonds, graphite, all carbon you see. See, diamond is one of the hardest substance and in great demand and great use. It contains carbon. Graphite also contains carbon. So all the things which we do, they are, most of the substances are containing carbon, as you see around us. Carbon is around us. All life on earth is carbon based. Carbon is present in our muscles, bones, organs, blood, and other components of living matter. As we said, all living organisms. What we have? We have cells. We are made up of cells. The cells make tissues, bones, different organs are there. Blood is circulating components of the living matter. So all this, they contain carbon. Carbon is present, student. All life is carbon based. So carbon is present, as you will see. And the compounds are carbohydrates. So mainly they contain carbon, hydrogen, and some other elements, oxygen. So they provide, carbohydrates are fuel for the body. Our body needs energy. Where it gets energy from? Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates contain carbon. All contain carbon. C. And the structure of plants, animal, and bacteria and are essential component of DNA and RNA, the molecular blueprints of life, they all contain carbon. So we know that plants, animals, everything contains carbon. Therefore, carbon is very, very important element. Now let us see what is the story about the carbon. Let us study the bonding in carbon. What do you mean by bonding in carbon? He is saying the bonding in carbon is covalent bond. Now students, what we have studied earlier, what we studied in the previous chapter, we studied about ionic bond. What is an ionic bond, student? Did we study ionic bond? What was the ionic bond was formed by the transfer of the electron. We studied the ionic bonds in our previous chapters, and ionic bond is formed by the transfer of the electrons. The question is, why a bond is formed? Why bond is formed? This is the second question here. And we have told you, students, that elements are reacting because they want to complete octet of electrons. We have told you why a chemical reaction takes place, why the elements are reacting. So reactivity of the element is their tendency to attain. Elements are reacting to attain completely filled outermost shell. Elements react to completely fill their outermost shell. So the tendency of the elements to attain completely filled outermost shell, which we told you is called the valence shell. Valence shell. So elements will want to complete octet, want to completely have 8 electrons there in their outermost shell, except helium, where only 2 electrons are required to complete the outermost shell. So we have told you in the previous lecture, for example, sodium and chlorine, how they react, why they form compound. What type of compound is formed between Na and Cl, students? Do you know that? Let's say, oh water, heal me. What is the atomic number of sodium? First 1 to 20 elements atomic number should be learned by all the students. 11. You have 2, 8, 1. And what is about chlorine? Atomic number 17. 2, 8, 7, students. Now you want to have octet in both the elements, because these elements, it has one more electron than 8, it has one less electron than 8. So they will react. They will react. Not stable. This is not stable because they do not have 8 electrons. They do not have completely filled outermost shell. So what happens? We have given electron dot structures, and what you said, sodium has 1 electron in the outermost shell. Chlorine has how many? 7 electrons, 2, 4, 6, and 7 in the outermost shell. So if 1 electron is transferred from sodium to chlorine, what will happen? Transfer of 1 electron, transfer of electron. Then sodium will become plus and chlorine will become how many? It gains 1 electron minus. So what it becomes? 2, 8, 8. This is our Cl. So Cl gets 1 electron more and sodium loses 1 electron. Now in this process, what has happened? Sodium completes octet, chlorine also complete octet. Sodium gets positive charge, Cl gets negative charge, and this is called ionic bond, and NaCl is an ionic compound. What type of compound is this? Ionic compound. What are the properties of the ionic compounds? Did we study the properties of the ionic compounds in our previous chapter, students?
Yes, sir.
What were those properties of the ionic compounds?
So that they're hard and brittle. They have low and high. They have high melting points and burning points. So they don't conduct electricity in solid state. They conduct electricity in molten state.
Excellent answer. Absolutely correct answer has been given. That means you understood the idea when we discussed all that. So important point to note was that, students, these compounds are held by electrostatic forces of oppositely charged ions. One is positive ion, other is negative ion. So there is a strong electrostatic force which is holding these particles together. And the result is these compounds were having properties like high melting point, boiling points, and they are, you said, hard, and moreover in the solid state they did not conduct electricity because these ions were held together. They were held together. They were not free ions, but if we put them in water, if they dissolve in water, what will happen? The ions will be free to move. If we melt them in the molten state, ions will be free to move, and they will become good conductors in conduct electricity. They will conduct electricity in solution or in molten state. These properties we studied for ionic compounds. Now we are talking of covalent bond, covalent compound, students. What we are saying, The carbon bonding in carbon is covalent. Covalent means, what is a covalent bond? Covalent bond is formed by the sharing of the electrons. A chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between the two atoms. So there will be sharing of the electrons. When sharing of electrons take place, that type of bond is called covalent bond. This is also called a molecular bond. Carbon, having 4 electrons in outer shell, has the ability to form innumerable molecules and bonds. Just now we have given the electron configuration of carbon. Carbon, we are saying 2, 4. So outermost it has 4 electrons. So it can form large number of bonds with different atoms, and therefore it can form different molecules. One carbon has 4 covalent bonds with 4 hydrogen atoms by the sharing of each hydrogen atom. So the bonding in carbon compound is covalent bonding. Important. We will explain more about this. What we are trying to say, if I have carbon, student, I am representing carbon by 4 electrons. These are called electron dot structures. This was given by Lewis electron dot structures. Carbon has 4 electrons in the outermost shell. Now, if it combines with hydrogen, hydrogen has 1 electron. So if 4 hydrogens come, what will happen? We can get. So in this way, what will happen? Carbon will form 4 covalent bonds with 4 hydrogen atoms. This is one covalent bond, this is another. So we may represent it like this. These are 4 covalent bonds with 4 hydrogen atoms. By the sharing, there's this electron of 1 hydrogen electron and 1 carbon, they share it. So one pair is there in one single bond. This is called the sharing of the electrons, which is resulting in the formation of the covalent bonds. Let us see what we are trying to say and why. And we will see in this topic, there are different type of covalent bonds. We will see single covalent bond is formed by the sharing of one pair of electrons between 2 atoms. For example, we will show this hydrogen single. Double covalent bond is formed by sharing of 2 pairs of electrons. This is a double. And triple covalent bond is formed by the sharing of 3 pairs of electrons. We will explain to this. We are going to explain there is a single covalent bond. There are 3 types of covalent bonds we have written. Single covalent bond, double covalent bond by 2 lines, triple covalent bond by 3 lines. Each line represents 1 pair of electrons. 1 pair of electrons is represented by 1 line. 2 pairs of electrons will be 2 lines. That is what we call as a single bond, double bond. 3 pairs of electrons shared. We represent it by 3 lines. So 3 pairs of electrons. We have single bond, we have double bond, and we have 3 pairs of the electrons. This we will be studying more about this in this topic. Single covalent bond, double covalent. Carbon can form single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent bonds also. Carbon can form. Note down everything. Now the question before us, students, that why the bonding in carbon is covalent. Why carbon is covalent? Why there is no gain of electrons or no loss of electrons in the case of carbon? Important question we are going to discuss. Bonding, why the bonding in carbon is covalent? We have explained to you why do elements react. And the activity of element is explained as their tendency to attain completely filled outermost shell, that is to attain noble gas configuration. What is the noble gas configuration? You know noble gases: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. These are noble gases. It has 2 electrons. This is 2, 8. This is 2, 8, 8, like this. They are having completely filled outermost shells. These noble gases are not reacting. Sometimes they were asked inert gases also because they do not react. So other elements react to complete or attain noble gas configuration. Carbon electronic configuration, we have already said carbon electronic configuration is 2, 4. Now we are saying carbon has 4 electrons in the outer valence shell. How it can get 8? If it gains 4 electrons, supposing gain of 4 electrons, 4 electrons by carbon is energetically not possible. Because if carbon will gain 4 electrons, what will happen? You are saying C4 minus. This is an ion of the carbon. This process will require large amount of energy, which is not available. This is not possible. Energetically, I am saying energy is not available for this process. And the 6 protons of the carbon will not be able to become stable when 4 extra electrons will come. Already 6 electrons are there, 4 will become 10. So this is not stable. When something is not stable, it cannot exist. Then this will not exist because this is not stable. Therefore, carbon cannot gain 4 electrons. We are saying carbon cannot gain 4 electrons. Second possibility, what will happen? If carbon loses 4 electron, then what will happen? Then it will become 2, which is completely filled shell. First shell can have only 2 electrons. And carbon cannot lose 4 electrons because this will require large amount of energy. That much energy is not available. That we are saying large amount of energy will be required. Large amount of energy will be required, which is not available. This is also not available. Therefore, carbon, if it loses 4 electron, it will become like this. This is also not possible. Now, when carbon cannot gain 4 electron, cannot lose electron, then what is left out? Carbon shares 4 electrons. Carbon shares, what I'm saying, student, carbon will share 4 electrons, and that will be what we say will form covalent bond. Therefore, the compounds of carbon will be covalent. Covalent compounds will be formed by the carbon. If covalent compounds will be formed, student, what are the properties of the covalent compounds? Here, let us see. You are saying carbon is forming covalent compounds. Because carbon cannot gain 4 electrons, it cannot lose 4 electrons. Transfer of 4 electron is not possible. Therefore, carbon shares its 4 electrons with one element or 2 elements or with more elements and with different elements or with itself. All that happens in the case of carbon. And what type of properties will be there are the covalent compounds. The properties of the covalent carbon compounds are they have low melting and boiling points. So their melting point and boiling points will be low. Why? Because the force of attraction between molecules will be very weak. What we are saying? There is a weak forces of attraction between the molecules. When the force of attraction between the molecule is weak, what will happen? Melting points will be low. Boiling points will be low. They will have low melting and boiling points. And here we have given a list of the compounds of the carbon which have low melting and boiling points. Which compounds we have given? Acetic acid. What is the melting point? 290 Kelvin, boiling point 390. Chloroform. These are compounds of carbon. These are compounds of carbon. These are covalent compounds of carbon. Covalent compounds of carbon. Acetic acid formula is given. Chloroform formula is given HCl3. Ethanol is an alcohol formula is given. Methane is a compound of carbon. Methane gas, you have heard about methane gas as a fuel. As you can see, melting point are in Kelvin. If you subtract 273, you will get in Celsius. So they have low melting and boiling points. Melting point, boiling points are low, and they are non-conductors of electricity. There could be few exceptions. We will see those later on. But here, in general, we are saying carbon forms covalent compounds because it shares its electrons. And these have properties, low melting points, low boiling points, and they cannot conduct electricity either in solution or anywhere because there are no free ions, there are no charges to flow. Current will only flow when charges will be there. In metals, electrons flow. In solution, ions flow, and then we are able to get conduction. So here they are non-conductors of electricity, students. Is it clear? Then I will proceed further. So important bonding in carbon is covalent. Now the question is, student, how do we represent electron dot structures? These are also called Lewis electron dot structures. How to draw the Lewis electron dot structures? And we have told you there are 3 types of covalent bonds, which I told you: single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent. Let us see how do we draw. For example, if I consider hydrogen, what is the atomic number of hydrogen? Students, tell me the atomic number of hydrogen. atomic number of hydrogen is 1, which is equal to number of electrons is 1. How do I represent 1 electron? This is 1 electron in the hydrogen. This is not stable because the outermost shell is not complete. It will like to go to inert noble gas configuration. What is the next noble gas configuration? That is helium, which has 2 electrons. So what will happen? This hydrogen will not exist like this. If I consider another hydrogen, now this also has 1 electron, this also has 1 electron. What will they do? Transfer. If they transfer, what will happen then? It will lose this electron. That will require a lot of energy. So what they do, sharing of the electron will take place. Sharing of electron. Sharing of 1 electron. So what is happening? This hydrogen has 1 electron. This hydrogen also comes as 1 electron. There is a sharing of the electron. When it shares, what happens? Now each hydrogen has got pair of electron. And this pair of electron is what we say that what has happened. This is a single covalent bond. What do we form, students? Single covalent bond, and this is our sharing of electron. Shared pair of electrons. So what do we have, student? Shared pair of electrons. Shared pair of electrons. This is called electron dot structures. Electron dot structures. We are telling you how to draw the electron dot structures. Let us see another case, student. Oxygen. If we want to draw electron dot structure for O2. What is the atomic number of oxygen? 8. How many electrons? 8 electrons. How many electrons? Atomic number. What is the configuration? 2, 6. In the case of the hydrogen, there was only 1 electron. Only 1 electron. What was the configuration? Only 1 electron in the K shell. Electron configuration. 1 electron. In the case of the oxygen, students, atomic number is 8. Number of electrons in the outer shell. Number of electrons in valence shell or outer shell. How many? 6. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. To complete octet, how many electrons are required by each oxygen? Oxygen needs how many? 8 electrons. Needs to complete the 8 electron, oxygen will need 2 electrons. How many? 2 electrons. So 6 plus 2 will become 8. So what it will do then? There is another oxygen. It also has 6 electrons. So they will share. Okay? These 2 electrons, a pair of electrons, they will share 2 electrons. And what will be the result of that? This is our oxygen. 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is 2 electrons of this and 2 electrons of the other oxygen atom shared. let me draw closer to this. These two electrons are with the oxygen. So what do we get, student? How many? There are two pairs of electron which are shared. How many pairs? Two pairs of shared electrons. And what will be the result of that? This is the electron dot structure of O2. This is a double covalent bond. 1 and 2. What we call it? Double covalent bond. What is formed, student? Double covalent bond. Double covalent bond is formed. Now let us come to the another example. Nitrogen. If we want to draw the Lewis electron dot structure of nitrogen. How do we do that? What is the atomic number of nitrogen? 7. What is the number of electrons of nitrogen? 7. What is the electron configuration? Nitrogen 2, 5. In the K shell, there are 2 electrons. In the L, there are 5 electrons. How many electrons are required to complete 8? Tell me, how many electrons are required? How many electrons are required, students? 3. So we can draw the Lewis electron dot structure of nitrogen. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 5. Another nitrogen. 1, 2, 3, and 5. What will happen then? They will share. The 2 nitrogen atoms will share 3 pairs of electrons. Sharing of 3 pairs of electrons. What you are getting? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is a triple bond. So what do you get, students? Triple bond in the case of the nitrogen. This is a triple covalent bond. In the case of the nitrogen, here we have shown this. This is the electron dot structure for the N2 molecules. So what we have told you, students, there are 3 types of covalent bonds: single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent bonds. 3 types of covalent bonds. Such bonds which are formed by sharing of electron pair between 2 atoms are known as covalent bonds. Covalent bonded molecules are seen to have strong bonds within the molecule, but intermolecular forces are weak. This gives rise to low melting boiling points. Since the electrons are shared between atoms, no charged particles are formed. Such covalent compounds are generally poor conductors of electricity. So if we want to form a bond formation of CH4, how do we represent C? Now you know already carbon has got 4 electrons in the outermost shell. Carbon is 2, 4. And hydrogen has got only 1 electron in the outermost shell. What will happen? How will we show the formation of this? So if carbon is this, if I show hydrogen by this electron, students, how many will be needed? You have 4 hydrogens. So what will happen? There will be sharing of electrons. So what will happen? This is carbon 1, 2, 3, 4 electrons. This hydrogen comes here, one hydrogen comes here, one hydrogen comes here, one hydrogen comes on this, one hydrogen comes this electron of the hydrogen. So how many total now? 2, 4, 6, and 8. And what we say, there are 4 covalent bonds. 4 single covalent bonds have been formed. What has been formed? 4 single कोवलेंट बॉन्ड्स. तो कार्बन के 4 हाथ दिख रहे हैं और इसने हाथ मिलाया, एक एक हाइड्रोजन, 4 हाइड्रोजन आई है, तो CH4 मॉलिक्यूल बन गई. तो CH4 जो बना है वो एक कोवलेंट कंपाउंड है. दिस इज अ कोवलेंट कंपाउंड एंड यू नो व्हाट विल बी द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ द कोवलेंट कंपाउंड CH4. देयर इज नो चार्ज, so the force of attraction between the molecules will be negligible. When the force of attraction between molecule is very very small, very very weak, I am saying very very weak forces of attraction are there. Therefore such compounds, will have very low melting and boiling points, and they are poor conductors of electricity. In fact, methane is a gas. You already know CH4 is a gas. Why it is a gas? Because the force of attraction between the CH molecules is very very weak. So when the forces are weak, molecular forces are weak, intermolecular forces are weak. Intermolecular forces are weak. And CH4 is a gas. It exists as a gas. And the bonds are 4 single covalent bonds. All right, we are ending up the first part of this lecture. We have already told you the carbon is versatile, forming large number of compounds, and how there are carbon bonds are covalent. There can be single covalent bond, there can be double, and there can be triple covalent bonds. We'll continue the second part of this in the next class. Bye bye. I will see you in the next class.